Greetings, members one and all of the Salivation Nation. Just how much gold and silver can you buy with all the new money that the Federal Reserve has been printing for the past 2 months? Let's explore! Yes, this comes to us from SRS Rocco, or SR Rocco Report, and was shared with me by Chuck and Plata. Very interesting indeed. The Federal Reserve issued a record amount of new currency in circulation over the past 2 months, while the financial media has focused on the massive amount of additional digital money printing. The Fed also introduced more new dollar bills into the market from March to May than it did all of last year. Yes, indeed. So it's fascinating indeed to see how much of this stuff has been produced, especially with these new bills printed. So according to the St. Louis Fed, currency in circulation increased a staggering $122 billion from March to May. If we look at the chart below, we can see that the annual increase in U.S. currency in circulation ranged between $80 to $100 billion per year. However, the Federal Reserve increased the total currency in circulation by $122 billion from March to May. So here it is. And I love how the SRS Rocco report puts the information together here in chart form. You can see staggering amount in just between these last couple of months here, 2 months, 122, more than all these other years for sure. Crazy amount for sure. It's a heck of a lot of new Federal Reserve notes to be issued in just a sixth of the year. So how much gold and silver production could this new currency in circulation buy? Well, it turns out to be an astonishing amount of silver, nearly a decade's worth of global silver production. Wow, crazy. Look at that, 9 years of silver production. That's 7,600,000,000 ounces. Crazy to think about for sure. And look at the amount of gold that could buy, 76 million ounces. That's 9 months worth of gold production there. To arrive at the figures above, he divided 122 billion by $16 for silver and $1,600 for gold. Now those aren't the current prices, but an approximate average for the year. The world produces about 800 million ounces of silver from the 2020 World Silver Survey. Actually, it's more than that. I think it's 860. And 111 million ounces of gold from the World Gold Council. The 122 billion of new U.S. currency in circulation would equal the value of 9 years of global silver mine supply and 9 months worth of gold production. And this is just the increase in physical Federal Reserve notes, mostly $100 bills. According to the Federal Reserve's most recent chart, of the total $1.6 trillion of currency in circulation at the end of December 2018, $100 bills accounted for 80% of the total. Wow. So here's the U.S. total value of currency in circulation. We can see here the various numbers here. We've got the $100 and the sort of the bluish, light bluish here. And look at dollar bills were much less. A lot of $100 bill circulation. Fascinating, 80% worth. And look how much those number of those bills were printed compared to others circulations in the past years, greatly outnumbering others. I'm actually surprised at the $20 bill is the second highest, which makes the most sense there. Fascinating. However, in less than a year and a half, the total U.S. circulation, currency in circulation is now 1.92 trillion, up from 1.6 trillion on December 31st, 2018, and nearly half of that 250 billion increase took place in the past 2 months. Wow. If your eyes are working correctly, you will notice the trend line is virtually heading straight up. Yes, it sure is. Look at that right there. So do you think this will have a positive impact on precious metals? I believe we are just beginning to see the coming price explosion in gold and silver. But when it will happen, we don't know. And I tell you what, that's the thing. And I think what the clue is why we don't know is because of all these C notes created. Actually, all these $100 bills. The $100 bills don't circulate as well as 20s and other denominations out there. And so I think that tells us something that how many people are getting $100 bills? Not very many. So it's circulating mainly between banks and central banks and the like. But very fascinating indeed. It is quite an amount of gold and silver. But you know what? For each one of us that hold gold and silver, we are preserving our wealth. And even though it may not look like it right now, especially with silver, I believe that we're going to head into a time where it'll start to pay off. And by paying off, I'm meaning about preserving your wealth, because that's really what it's about for both gold and silver. We're able to see quicker returns on gold. Gold is certainly reacting very greatly to what's going on in the news and all of these things. And it's getting closer to record highs. We're not there yet. We're about $200 shy of that. Silver is way behind, but it is in territory where it was before all of this started after a big sell-off, but it's still kind of lagging behind, but it is up a little bit today too. $17.31. It's comfortably above that $17 level. However, I'm not about one to say that that's a new floor, because we're only several days or into this new pricing structure here. But nonetheless, it is fascinating to see. And it's fascinating to see how much money is being printed by this particular Federal Reserve, we like to call it, because that is what it's called. There you have it. All right. So post your thoughts below about all of this money printing. And what do you mean by circulation? I don't think all of this is in circulation yet. I think if it was, we'd be in real big trouble. I think that's the only reason why the dollar index is not moving in such a way. A lot of this money is being moved between central banks and the like. That is a telling chart. I think this is the most fascinating chart here of number of $100 bills created since 1998. Crazy amount. We're not seeing those $100 bills. That's for darn sure. They're not in our hands. But nonetheless, there it is. Fascinating indeed. Well, post your thoughts below. I think this is all the more reason. This should pretty much give us all the more confidence that we're doing the right thing in accumulating gold and silver. And so thanks again to Chuck and Plata for sending this along to me. And I want to thank you guys for taking the time to rate this video for a thumbs up. It does help when those thumbs ups are out there to get the video out into the circulation on YouTube land. And I want to extend a multitude of gratitude to you all for taking the time to watch, and encourage you to not only rate, but to comment and to share and subscribe.